point I think you need to understand is that life is complicated in the Middle East. And when you say, well, the overthrow of Saddam Hussein was a mistake, is simplistic.
I would argue that I'm the one who understands how complicated it is, but just my view.
It's your long experience in foreign policy. I know.
Better record than yours, I would say. But thank you, Ambassador. Good to see you.
Why do you need these things? No one is hunting with an AK-47.
I guess my question is, why should I have to explain myself? I'm a taxpayer, a citizen, I'm an adult man in a free country. I've done nothing wrong. We haul people off the street and put them into prison because of their skin color. That's just no evidence.
You're suggesting that America did not put people in jail because of their skin color? I mean, because we know that if an African American...
I'm saying that out loud.
To reform
but you're doing what everyone does, which is sort of skate along on platitudes. And please don't quote the poem at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty to me. You do this for a living, and you haven't thought a most basic question, which is how many people should we admit a year? 325 million in the country. Should we get to 500 million? Would it be a better country?
Isn't going to stop migrants from coming. So that's one reason why we should try to help these countries address the situation.
We already are
in the
helping
country,
them,
so they don't come here.
Hold on, let me just. I'm sorry. Obviously, you don't care about whether what you say is true or not. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Tucker.
Oh, of course. This struck me when I read it as a pretty cowardly thing for you to say for a bunch of reasons, but mostly because it's so imprecise. Okay. And so when you tweet out that this is a story of a white man killing a black man, that is misleading. That's not at all what happened. There was no racial motive that we know of here, and you're implying there was.
I didn't say there was a racial motive.
Your financial. Well, of course you did. You said that white officers shot a black Somali suspect.
Tucker, this is Fox News. You guys are the race casino. Forget about the race card. You play the race casino. Right. So it's very hypocritical for me to specify the race of a suspect and a police officer, and that is supposed to be some kind of problem when you guys do it all the time and arbitrarily blame black people for everything negative in this country.
Here, I'm not even going to rise to the debate. Let me just say that I think when normal people, and I'm excluding you from that category, the guy who did this was imported here at taxpayer expense from Somalia. He was living, I believe, entirely on taxpayer expense. It was government-subsidized education at Ohio State. Why would a white supremacist country import Africans in large numbers and then pay for them to live here? I don't understand. It doesn't speak in narratives. It doesn't really fit your narrative, does it?
So we don't live in a system of complete white supremacy? Everybody's lying, Tucker?
Huh.
So we don't live in a system of complete white supremacy? Everybody's lying, Tucker?
Huh. So the overwhelming majority of immigrants to this country are non-white. Why would a white supremacist country import massive numbers of non-white immigrants? Not to blow your mind.
When you say non-white, I mean, there's Hispanic people who you say are non-white, but they're labeled as white. There are a lot of people who are classified as white that you say are non-white. So you play this racialized game. So who's non-white and who's white?
Okay. Let me ask you, I'm a little confused. So you're the protector of Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels is right now working in strip clubs in little towns on stage. People are throwing things at her. You're wearing a $1,000 suit.
And believes that we got to do a lot more for working people in this country.
Name a big private sector employer in New York City who supports you. Name one big private sector employer.
Here's the question.
Just
here's
one.
The question. Tucker, I just don't play these games. I don't play these games. Here's the question.
It's not a game. It's a question. You're exploiting her, and you know that. Why aren't you paying her some of what you're making?
Sir, this is absurd.
It's not absurd. Those are the facts.
No.
Quick final question.
Yeah.
How can you take an SUV to the gym and back every day and say that you're really worried about climate change?
It's a
I know
Chrysler,
it's a petty question,
it's a Chrysler Pacifica.
It's bugged me for years.
It's a Pacifica. Yeah? It's a hybrid electric. It's not an SUV, first of all. But look, I come from a neighborhood.
It's got a gas engine in it.
I come from a neighborhood. I go back to my neighborhood all the time. It's the way to me that I stay connected to people, that I am able to have a routine that allows me to be 24/7 the best mayor I can be.
But should the climate have to pay the cost for that?
Come on. It's a few miles.
Oh, come on.
And Tucker, here's the great part about all this.
What do you mean?
If I took a subway
I'm going to use that next time I get lectured about climate change. Oh, come on.
No. The point is, wherever I go, if I take a subway, the cars follow me for security reasons. Any way you slice it, I'm doing what's going to help me be the best that I can be for the people of this city. And that's why I'm proud to say this is a city, just safest big city in America, a city that's moving forward in so many ways.
I also use tipping of servers as a mechanism for redistributing wealth.
I'm confused. Okay, no, but I'm for all those things. I'm for philanthropy, and I'm especially for tipping waiters. I agree with you 100% on that, and so God bless you.
Glad to hear it, Tucker.
But you're asking other people to give their money to the government. Why aren't you giving 70% of your income to the government? You could.
Well, I'm not on the top 1%, but I have no issue.
You don't need to be. But
I know you're not.
Why not pay 70%? I don't understand. Like, what's holding you back? Why not lead by example?
Tucker, you know what's holding me back? If I knew how to do that, I would have no issue doing that. But the tax code is incredibly convoluted.
No, it's totally no. Trust me. Let me simplify it for you. Just write a check, pay your taxes, then figure out what you pay. 30%, you said. Just figure out what another 40% of your income would be. Just send it to the U.S. Treasury. Washington, D.C., no zip code required.
You know
Go
what
ahead.
I do? I want to see all of it go up because right now the top 1% do not pay their fair share.
Okay.
We
got to go. But call me when you start sending all your money to the government, and then I'll follow suit. It's hilarious.
Let me just ask you one final question, okay? And I don't want to be mean, but can you think of a single interesting or insightful thing Hillary Clinton has ever said? I've covered her since 1992, and I have never heard one. Have you?
Yes, I can think of many interesting and insightful things.
Hit me with one profundity. I promise I'll let you deliver it.
Well, I think that the fact that she acknowledged in her book various reasons that came to light about why she wasn't elected, including accounting for her own tactical mistakes, as well as accounting for some of the sexism that was leveled against her in the campaign, as well as accounting for, the nationalism and populism that the Donald Trump campaign, played into. I think there was a lot of insight in that book. And you ask about the book tour, and I was somebody who wanted to read that book. I wanted to know what happened. I want to know why Donald Trump is our president. I want to know.
I could have told you. Sexism. I've watched her a long time. I knew that was going to be the answer. You should have called me, and I could have saved you.
That's not the answer, but we don't call male politicians shrill and unlikable, so it definitely played a part.
I don't know if they are shrill and unlikable. I'd be happy to. And there are who are shrill and unlikable, and I'd be happy to say that. So you've challenged me, and I will rise to that challenge. Julie, thank you.
Thanks.
We agree. Here is your description of the Trump administration. You wrote this piece in Teen Vogue, which I guess you write for.
Oh, which you guess I write for? Yes, that's not fake news. That's real news. I write for you guess. Oh, you guess, Tucker? You guess? That's really patronizing.
I haven't read Teen Vogue because I'm not a Teen Vogue
Well, you
reader,
have in front of your producers asked me if I wrote for Teen Vogue. You have my Teen Vogue article in front of you. My name is Lauren Duca, and I write for Teen Vogue.
Well, got it. Here's what you wrote.
Okay.
The road ahead is a treacherous one. There are unprecedented amounts of ugliness to untangle, from deciding whether our president can be an admitted sexual predator to figuring out how to stop him from threatening the sovereignty of an entire religion.
Yes.
What does it mean to threaten the sovereignty of religion? What does that even mean?
That means an entire agenda, a platform based on banning Muslims, which is still available on his website.
How does that threaten the sovereignty of religion? That's moronic, Lauren. You're a writer. How does that threaten the sovereignty of it? Pardon me for taking your words literally.
Sorry, how does what threaten the sovereignty of it? Threatening to ban Muslims?
That threatens the sovereignty of it?
Yes, that completely, that profiles based on the basis of religion and reduces people to their beliefs and dictates what they can and cannot publicly believe.
That doesn't threaten the sovereignty of it. So you also accused him on Chelsea Handler's show of, quote, committing a form of psychological abuse that makes the victim feel like they're crazy. Does Trump make you feel like you're crazy? That's the impression I'm getting.
Oh, my God. Are you calling me crazy? That's adorable.
I'm asking you. You said on Chelsea Handler, he's committing psychological abuse on you. You believe that?
On the American people. I believe the American people, Trump supporters, Hillary supporters, Jill Stein and her cousin, are a victim of Trump's gaslighting. What I mean by that is that he frequently contradicts objective evidence, not that he is abusing me personally. And I think you're smart enough to know that, aren't you, Tucker?
I don't know. I just take your words at face value.
So did you read the entire article?
Psychological. I did. I also read Liam Payne is 100% certain One Direction will continue. Adriana Grande rocked the most epic thigh-high boots at Jingle Bell, and Black China and Rob Kardashian went through the messiest breakup of 2016. Those are your other pieces. But I'm trying to get to what you're writing about Trump taking a break from the thigh-high boots and ask what you mean about him committing psychological abuse on you.
A woman can love Ariana Grande and her thigh-high boots and still discuss
just letting you know that I read you in Teen Vogue as of today.
And those things are not mutually exclusive. You know, now that you bring up Teen Vogue, we treat young women like they don't have a right to a political conversation.
Of, dumb
and you can't be, enjoy Kylie Jenner's Instagram and worry about the future of this country. And those things are not mutually exclusive. So you know what? I did write about Ariana Grande, and I did write about the abusive, bigoted,
those pieces were a little smarter than your piece about threatening the sovereignty of a whole religion. All right, I got to go. You should stick to the thigh-high boots. You're better at that. Lauren, thanks for joining us.
If you're using climate change as a pretext for taking over the most basic decisions of my life, how big my toilet can be, whether I can have a wood stove, how many cars I can own, whether I can fly. These are the basic, no, I'm serious, these are the basic decisions. Then shouldn't you know something about the science? Well, I don't know, you have to ask Democratic donors in Hollywood. You know, your analysis is so shallow and dumb. It's hard to believe that you go on TV as an expert on this stuff.
No, are you going to let me think? You going to let me respond?
We're out of time, and I give you more time than I promised you.
You don't know what you're talking about.
But it is nice to see you.
Yet again.
12 minutes. Creepy porn lawyer, great to see you.
You sent a series of tweets here noting the race and the nationality of the terrorist, and you also put quotes around the word terrorist. If you drive your car through a crowd of people and murder someone with a knife, are you not a terrorist? Why did you put quotes around?
I didn't say that the man. I didn't say that the man wasn't a terrorist. Tucker, are you going to say anything honest before we get the interview started, or it's just going to be a bunch of projections
I'm asking
of your
you what you meant. Why did you put
suspected white supremacist
around the word
views?
terrorist? Okay.
Because I didn't know if the guy was a terrorist or not. I didn't know if he was a suspect. I didn't know if that was the only suspect. So I didn't have all the facts.